Greetings and salutations, and welcome everyone to another episode of Supernormal Film Society. And today we have another esteemed guest, a good friend of mine, Menzi Mhlongo. Joman, Ninja and Buff.
So, Tim, I don't know about esteemed.
No one wants to take the credit. I see. All right, I know about this, Makaya, like a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah, thanks, man, for the opportunity. Just an average Joe. Like you said, igama Menzi Mhlongo. Amukamlazi. eThekwini eGagasini. Ubhebhe, Makedama. Ngoba
Oh, so
ongithakazelanga ngizozisho mina-ke, yabo.
awungishilo ukuthi ujobane. Akula qhubeka.
Yeah, no.
Kodwa ngiyakuzwa ukuqinisile Joman. Hayi.
Sure, man. But just by way of introduction, I don't have a long intro. Average family guy. Person who loves interactive media. Maybe one of the reasons why I'm here. And yeah, so back in the day, brother used to work for DIF. That's the Durban International Film Festival, for those who don't know. I'm now currently with the Durban Film Arts, and I'm an aspiring producer. So yeah, that's just me.
As you rightfully pointed out, Balaleli, the reason why as well I've invited my dear friend Dunjomane to the show again, Guti, his wealth of knowledge in medium, having worked with very prominent, figures, and just his love as well for media, as he mentioned, and particularly because we are talking about film in this particular episode, we will also try to figure out, Guti, what is his favorite films, what does he like about film, and when did he start to really find that Unothando for film? So I'll start with the first question. Joanna, when did you really find out, you know what, I really like film, and film is kind of my passion.
Hey, that's a tough one,
Even if it is a passion, maybe it's not a passion, maybe it's just a hobby, or that's okay as well. A hobby is not just a hobby, by the way. I'm correcting myself.
It's a job.
Well.
It's a job.
Yeah, it's a job.
It pays the bills, eh?
Yeah, man.
No. But yeah, I think growing up, my dad Latina, so we grew up in that age when there were still VCRs, used to go down to, there was a shop, Gavi Mlazi, like in the early 90s. They used to hire Tama cassettes, and you used to go there. And I don't know if you recall, like back then, before the movie starts, you used to have like this lady would come up and say, "Presents," and that.
Sure.
And that guy, because I used to like that opening theme, I used to say that all the time wherever I go, presents, and then I was called to presents for some time, and don't laugh at me. And I think that was the start of loving film. Getting a makaseti, recording stuff. We grew up watching Rambo, Robocop, those sort of films. But fast forward many years later, when I was studying, I was in the advertising space, hoping to get into that space, and ads, making short films, making ads became something that was feasible, something that became a day-to-day thing, and I got introduced to the Durban International Film Festival by chance, because we used to do brand challenges at school. So, they made us, watch films and also get associated with the community. And yeah, so I looked at the Durban International Film Festival as a starting point to get into that space, because I just dreamed of working in film. And when you see the film credits and you're like, how does my name appear there?
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, and it became that dream, that ambition, was say one day I've
Yeah.
never been a person I've never been a person who wants to be in front of the camera. I enjoy the behind the scenes. So when I got the opportunity to work for the festival, I jumped at it. Um, I got introduced to a program called Talents Durban, and that's a mentorship program for rising filmmakers on the continent. And I was fortunate enough, to curate that program at the time. In fact, I'm still working on that project many years later. And I suppose, just being part of filmmakers and that community just increases your passion and your knowledge. It stretches you in terms of what's available out there in terms of film, because as a kid, there's some was Hollywood, and that's, kuluma ngo Rambo, no Robocop, but that's pretty much it. But, when you get exposed into that culture, you learn, there's
There's
films,
more. Yeah, there's more to the
there's more to
spectrum.
it,
Adversity. I'd like to also point out, I mean, to most folks that Menzi is one of the individuals that I truly respect a lot. And I respect his, and I'm really honored and grateful that he was able to make time today to grace us. He's one of the people with an amazing work ethic. And yeah, man, I'm really happy that you joined us today. So, straight to it. Top five. We don't mention all of them at once. You just like, you can start with the first one, but you don't also have to rank them, but you can. Some people choose to rank them, some don't. You can just the films that are, maybe if I say top five, it's not the right word to use. Top, maybe significant five films that had an impact on you in your life.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm not gonna rank them. But yeah,
Too much pressure.
too much pressure. I don't want to be quoted. No, but I think because I watch a lot of animation, like with the family, with my kids. So Toy Story is up there. Toy Story, the first one. And another one that I really enjoy, I think, if I can get some memorabilia from that film, Spirited Away.
Okay, so that's number two.
Uh,
Spirited Away is number two.
yeah.
Okay, you're moving very fast. Okay, Toy Story is one. Spirited Away is two. Okay, all right.
We're not in that order. I'm just putting
In
it
that
out
order.
there.
Toy Story had a few shoes, some collaborations I think they did with Vans, and actually sold another pair like last week. But Spirited Away, I recently got some key rings, I think. Yeah, with some characters from the, yeah, don't worry, man. We'll talk, my brother. You know I got you. So, and then number three.
Sharp. Number three, I would say Goodfellas.
Yeah. Any
Yeah.
particular reason Goodfellas is in ranked so high in your films?
Man, just the story itself, and just how it's shot. It's visually, and the beats of the film. It's never, it doesn't stop. It keeps you on your toes. So it's definitely up there in my rankings. Another one would be maybe let me go back to the family theme. It's a very nostalgic film for me. Stand By Me. Um, yeah, Stand By Me brings back a lot of childhood memories. How it's narrated. It just takes me back. And as I grow older, it just makes me reflect to those days. Growing up as a kid.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that's number four.
Okay.
I wish you had said top 10 at least, because like now I feel bad because
we can
like
we
I'm
can
thinking
squeeze
out
in maybe a bonus one, just one bonus maybe.
a bonus one.
Yeah.
Ish.
Honorable
Um,
mention.
you know what? Just because I want to keep it at home. A film.
Mm-hmm.
Corner like in Adali. I'm gonna go
Mm-hmm.
with the Letter Reader. Quite
Mm-hmm.
recent short story by
Mm-hmm.
Usibusiso Kuzwayo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so giving the brother flowers. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely that
Kuzwa. Can you
that
tell us a bit more about that film? Because that's the one I haven't seen from your list as well.
it's it did its festival run.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point I think it was on Netflix or Showmax, I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but it's shot really well,
Mm. Mm.
and it tells of the story of a young boy coming from Egoli to stay with his grandmother. Can't remember
Mm.
the synopsis word for word, but he was assisting um to translate letters in the village
Mm.
for I think it was an uncle who developed a crush on one of his you know um, um, he had a wife, I think, in the village, and he was staying in Joburg, so he was writing these letters, and
Mm.
the little boy was assisting into translating these letters from English to Isizulu. But yeah, I
Mm.
mean, it's a simple, beautiful concept,
Mm. Mm.
really well written
Sounds
and well
really,
told.
yes, it sounds really wonderful. Sounds
and and
fantastic.
and and I'll tell you the reason why I put it into my list. It's because it's a film that inspired me to really get into filmmaking, and not just be on the
Mm.
administration side,
Mm.
but to then become a person who wants to make films. So like I said, aspiring producer. That's a film that's made me, to say if this I think I can do. And we'll see. Maybe the proof will be in the pudding in a few years. I'll have to shout out to Sbusiso for inspiring me
Uh,
to get into filmmaking.
Yeah,
And that's why I put it.
that's a
That's why.
wonderful story. Yeah, that's a wonderful story, my brother. No, I'm gonna say this, and I think it's been said in many ways, by many people in different ways as well. That I believe, like in any medium, whether it's literature, whether it's film, whether it's making games or whatever it could be, music, you become a better craftsman. You become better at your craft by by practicing it, by consuming good art from other people as well. So, like a good writer has to read way more than they write. You can't read one book and write 10 books. You read thousands and then you get better, of course. Get all perspective. It enriches you. So the fact that you see another artist or another creator making something that's wonderful, that inspires you, that's definitely the way to go. And the more, of course, I mean, so the proof is definitely in the pudding, no matter what, because you'll be telling a very honest story to you, and that's who you need to, of course, satisfy first before everyone else. So
Uh, uh,
that's what I'm all about. So I would say, yeah, no, Jomane, this is very great. This is great. There aren't any more details, of course, on the film that you are working on that you can share with the people just yet, correct? I know you got filmmakers are a
yeah.
secretive lot. You don't wanna out the cat, out the bag. I always in hey, nifitli.
Yeah, no, I can't share a lot. But what I can share is that the film is going to Berlin. So I'll be
Oh
heading to
wow, wow,
to
congratulations.
the. Thank you, brother. Thank you. So we've done a proof of concept. So the idea is to put together a short story that's
Mm.
been submitted to the Berlin International Film Festival. So I'll be heading off to the European film market
Mm-hmm.
um, to raise funding for the feature. So
Mm.
I can't share too much about that, but
Of
I can,
course, don't.
certainly highlight.
That's enough, and that's getting me excited already, man. I'm really proud of your work, and means you really, if there's one person that really deserves this, is you, my brother. And yeah, so in terms of also like I know you've mentioned your top five films and how they've impacted your life. Which one do you think has the most sort of you have the most memories when you think about, especially like maybe of a time, you have those strong memories that are associated with a certain time in your life and something that sticks to you. And usually it could be a sentimental value. It could be maybe you're in a certain position, you're at a certain stage in your life, surrounded by certain people that maybe you cared for, or maybe it could be tragic. It could be, but let's not go the tragic route because we should keep it very merry on the podcast. But I mean, people are they open up here. 'Cause like I said, it's more like a fireside chat. We're chatting here, so I don't know which one, but I have a sense maybe that spirited away. But let me, maybe I'm wrong. Is it stand by me? Just stand by me by how you describe them. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but just stand
Yeah.
by me and
No,
spirited
no, no.
away.
You're
Yeah.
spot on. You're spot on. It's actually, yeah, Stand By Me, but Spirited Away is also close there. I don't know
Yeah.
how many times I've watched it. Still can't get enough. I see new stuff every single time with Spirited Away.
Mm.
The name says it all, you know.
Yeah. The
I'm a
world
very
building is
spiritual
crazy.
person.
That's huge. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's massive.
Mm.
It's expensive. But like Spirits of the Way, just it's got undertones of just unpacking the universe, and
Mm.
for me, who's very spiritual, I'm
Mm.
very intrigued about stuff like that.
Mm.
But to answer your question, it is Stand By Me.
Stand by me.
Like I said, and it's got these nostalgic moments for me. Um, I think the behind the story of growing up and leaving the past behind, and then reflecting and seeing that friendship grows, but
Mm.
with friendship, it doesn't last forever. So
Mm.
value people for that time when you have them.
Well, you still have them.
So
Mm.
exactly. So I mean, for me, like growing up, you have a lot of friends, especially when you're young. The older you get, the less and less your circle becomes. But then you find these gems of people that become family. So yeah, I suppose that's one reason. I would
Stand by
say
me.
Stand By Me, man.
Yeah, in terms of because I'm also a huge Studio Ghibli fan. I love all their stuff. Have you seen I don't know if have you seen the recent Miyazaki film? Which one? What? Boy and Heron, which was the latest one, I think, from the studio. I don't know if you've seen it. I also took a long time to see it. I think it's been out for almost 2 years now, but I kept, there's so much stuff in the backlog. But I ended up watching it about 3 weeks ago. And I have my
No,
opinions, but I don't want to share them if you haven't seen it as well.
listen. We can chat about Studio Ghibli like the whole day, but I haven't
Forever.
seen that one.
That one,
It,
yeah.
like we, my like I was laughing that I wanted to watch Howl's Moving Castle again.
Mm, mm. My books, I think Studio Ghibli created one of the most, also, they create some of the most happiest films, but they've created the saddest film in my books of all time. Grave of
Which
the
would be?
Fireflies. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
that's something else. Yeah, for
yeah.
me.
That's
That's just in
it's
film. Besides animation, across all films, I've never been
across
that
the board.
affected
Yeah.
by film.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's a tough watch. It's a tough
yeah,
watch.
yeah, yeah. Before we round this up, I think you're very much on time, my brother. Usually, I'm a guest. I have a glacier. They like you go on for like 50 or upwards, and I think to the audience and to the listeners, I think now you understand why I say he's one of the most efficient, most amazing people with the best work ethic that I know. So yeah, man. To round up, is there anything else you want to share with the people, or is you've already mentioned what you are working on, and like again, like you said, I would like to also just pass my also my congratulations once more. It's really amazing, and I wish you all the best with your film. But besides that, is there anything else you want to share with our listeners?
Yeah, no. Just a few honorable mentions. Malcolm X, Spike Lee, Denzel.
Oh, let's go.
I'm pushing it. I'm,
After giving you all the props, especially this guy is
yeah,
like the most efficient. He guy does the job and he's out. He's like, no, let me squeeze a few
I
in.
want to squeeze that one. And then another one. I Don't Come by Chance. It's an African film from Nigeria. Comedy film by Chioma Onwene. Yeah. So I'm putting it out there because like I feel that we need to consume more film from the continent,
Mm,
um, and try and move away from just watching Hollywood blockbusters.
mm, mm,
Um, and one of the reasons why I'm in, the film space is to try and make sure that, we build a film community. There's a film
mm,
culture, especially in South Africa. It's really tough. And I was working on the European Film Festival, and looking at consumers of film, from the major three cities, Cape Town, Joburg, and Durban. And sadly,
mm,
in Durban, people were not coming to screenings,
mm, mm,
as compared to the other cities.
mm,
But still, overall, the numbers in film, like I
mm.
said, I'm heading to Berlin, and people take leave just to go watch the film
Yeah,
festivals.
yeah.
So,
People fly to other countries, Yeah, which
yeah,
is quite
man.
interesting. I mean, Durban had the biggest film festival in Africa for the longest time. You would assume that, it'll be that well supported. I mean, Durban is a place of contradictions. People in theaters, it's a very strange combination. But I know
Yeah,
there's definitely a culture of film. I don't know, maybe it's access, but you guys are working in there. I'm sure you have your own. You've done your studies, the
yeah,
mappings, you know what's going on exactly. But I wish soon enough we get it back on the road again because I really love the city. Besides it being my hometown, but I also just love the people and the creativity that comes out of there. Yeah,
mm. No, you touched on
yeah,
it, Timber. It is access.
mm,
The prices, it's challenging for
mm,
people. But nonetheless, people do love film. I just
mm,
wanted to sign out from that note, just
mm,
audience development. Let's go out there, watch films, encouraging people to consume South African and African content.
yeah. No, thank you so much, Jomane, for your time and for gracing us today. Thank you to everyone for listening. And with that, we will see you on the next episode of Supernormal Film Society. Cheers.
Thank you. Peace.